Oh, hi. It's been a little while since I did a video. Gonna start off with this because I'm gonna need it. Because, today's topic's serious. Like, really serious. And, not even gonna edit this video, really. Because I need to hurry up and get this out. And I got a job recently, so I haven't had a lot of time. I'm figuring things out with my schedule. I'm adjusting my sleep patterns too. So yeah, this is about, I think everyone's already heard about this, but a 14-year-old, I must note, Muslim. Ethnicity shouldn't matter, but Muslim child who basically is a hobbyist electrician. So he's highly talented. Fucking makes a clock. Goes to school like, hey, I want to show off this clock because his old school used to have a club for robotics, and his new high school didn't have it anymore. So he was trying to figure out a way to work it into the zeitgeist. He wanted to get people hype about what he was, because you can't lie. Fucking 14-year-old that can make robots, cool. You wish you were that kid. You really do, don't you? You really do. So anyway, he makes a clock. Well, she said it was like a 20-minute project he threw together, just to start. And he shows it to one teacher. They're like, okay, this is cool, but load it up in your backpack and don't show it to anyone. I was like, okay. So he does. So the teacher didn't take it or anything. He just said, put it away. Okay, so he does. And then at one point, he forgot to put an alarm on it, and the alarm goes off in the middle of the classroom, which, okay, that's bad. I mean, I don't know. It's not even like bad. It's just like slightly like, why is the alarm going off? Like, it's annoying when someone's watch goes off. Usually it's like, shut it off and then you're done. But then nothing else happens. But now his teacher's like, what's going on for serious? Gets his backpack, finds the fucking clock. He's like, yeah, this is a clock that I made. She's like, it looks like a bomb. And to be fair, it's kind of, wiry, circuity, because it's basic. It's just the basic circuited clock with a basic, screen. But, it looks, put together in a certain way. But it's like, it's not even a bomb at all. Like, most reasonable people would look at it like, yeah, it's just basic electricity stuff. It's just very, rudimentary. But no, it's like, this is in Texas, by the way. That might help to explain the story heavily, by the way. It's in Texas. So anyway, the kid is sent to the principal office, and then, so there's like, okay, we're calling the cops because of this. So they think it's a bomb. Okay, now, I just got to say, there are, I would say there are divided opinions, but most people are on the side of, what the fuck is this kid being arrested for? Yeah, arresting happens. But let me get to it. So, most people are like, why was this ever a problem? And I am like that too. I'm in that camp. Why the fuck was this a problem? There's not a good reason for it to be a problem. There's some people like, I believe all Muslims are ISIS, racist motherfuckers. Okay, here's the problem. If you truly believe, you can follow me here, anyone, if you truly think there's a bomb in a building, what's the first thing that's supposed to happen? It starts with an E, evacuation. The building's evacuated. That didn't happen. You're supposed to call in a bomb squad. That didn't happen. Neither of these things happened at all. Not one of them. So, what did happen? So, the kid was brought into a room with 4 just write-you-a-ticket cops, and the guys are like, well, one guy this is directly quoted from the thing, so the guy apparently leaned back and said, yeah, I expected it to be him, looking at the kid who's, Middle Eastern, but, like, who cares except racist people? This guy. So the idea is, the kid's never met this cop before, he just sees the kid and is like, yeah, I thought it'd be him, as in someone that looks like him. It was really clear, like, these guys are really antagonistic against the kid. They took him out in handcuffs, and they claimed it to be a hoax bomb, even though the kid never said it was a bomb. He always said it was a clock. Everyone said it was a clock. Only these police involved and the school faculty are against the kid. Everyone else is for this kid, including the rest of the students. So, what the fuck, The kid's arrested, shit's going down, things are happening, kid's famous now, he's being kind of exonerated, but the state still wants to press charges for they're like, we're racist and we have to really make everyone realize how fucking racist we are, so we're really gonna we're really gonna stick it to this electrician kid, you know, because fuck creativity. So that's great. But yeah, the racist part of it, that's the big thing. I mean, other than needless zero tolerance policies in some cases, I mean, there's some cases where, yeah, if you think it's a bomb, sure, but they didn't do any of the things that would make you think it's a bomb. They didn't truly think they were in that kind of threat. If they did, they would have evacuated the fucking building. They didn't do any of that. So they didn't really think they were a threat. They were just fucking profiling this kid and hassling him. Why? Because they're racists. But why are people racist against Muslims? And everyone's going to say, 9/11, you're even asking that question, you moron. Even if you aren't racist, you're like, yeah, that's what they always point to anyway. And yeah, you'd be right. Most people are like, 9/11's why I don't like Muslims. And there's not a good reason, okay? If that was a good reason to hate anyone, I would hate every race, because one person of every race has committed at least every fucking major problem. At least one major serious problem has come from at least one person of every race. I'm not even going to say how many races did what. I'm just going to say at least one person of every race has done something awful. Probably more than one person. I'm going to say lots of people from every race do bad things, and lots of people from every race do good things. Because we're all humans. Kind of basic. So sometimes someone's fucking crazy. Now, why would someone be crazy? Here's the thing. We don't address the mental health problem at all in this country. We don't think about why someone would be so fucking mad as to go crazy and kill somebody. And I'm really oversimplifying this, but I'm trying to appeal to common sense here. Just gonna go ahead and go for this again because I want it before I continue with the story. Want a lot left in that. It's a good thing I have something else. Alright. There we go. That's better. And by the way, it's a different one, so. Okay. Where was I? Ah, yes. Racism in America against Muslim people. Against anyone, really, but in this case, Muslim people. It's more important that we're, in this case. Because I can actually tell you the exact history as to why there would be some Muslims that have gone really crazy and specifically want us dead. You see, I'm going to talk about Nazi Germany first. In fact, I'm going to talk about Germany first. And you might be like, what are you on about? Follow me. Germany is a country that knows how to have shame. They do lots of awesome stuff now. They're great. They're fine. I would love to go to Germany. I want to go to Germany so bad. And you go to Germany and you if you go there on vacation, one of the things they want to tour you through is, one of the old concentration camps to say, look, we did this. We were wrong and did this. Look at this. This is bad. We gotta respect the lives of these people that we fucking wasted when we did this. Bad. It was bad that they did that, but they're so owning up to it. And they really don't want it to happen again. The problem is that the United States in the past has not been the best. Luckily, I have the First Amendment to let me say this. I'm not going to ever do anything about it because I can't. Not me alone. It would, it's not going to happen. This is all common history in the States. It's not even going to be my opinion. So I'm going to list a few reasons why there would be a group of Muslim people who are completely wanting us dead. Why would that happen? You got to diagnose the cause before you can deal with the symptoms. That's the thing. I'm not saying that, by the way, 9/11 was deserved. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying anyone deserves to be killed by anyone for any reason. I think war needs to fucking stop because haven't we grown up as a fucking species? Can't we just have a global economy? Can't we just make war corporate where people just compete by trying to make money? I mean, that sucks, but at least, it's not as bad. I don't fucking know. Can we go to bureaucracy? It would be better than fucking this shit. I'm joking. The point is, why would people be crazy? Why would people want us dead? What thing that our government might have done, even if it was something they meant not to do, and they really, really wish they could take it back, You know, even if it's like totally great intentions, let's assume. You know, these are things that happened. So here's why. So this is going to be, I'm going to try to condense this story. I am reading off a list. So yeah. It starts off going back to 1950. About 65 years ago. So Standard Oil, that is in the United States, it's a corporation that handled oil at the time, agrees to split oil revenue with Saudi Arabia on a 50-50 basis in 1950. So we have a fair trade of like, we're getting, you know, even amounts of money. So Saudi Arabia, I'm getting ahead of myself. Saudi Arabia and us have a good deal on oil. Their economy is doing better, our economy is doing better. The global economy is happening. It's a good thing. So people are making money where they want to, and everything's fine. But the UK has a deal with Iran, but it's not as good. It's a deal where the UK gets 95% of the money, and Iran gets 5% of the money for the same oil. And Iran's like, you see what the United States and Saudi Arabia did? Could we please have that? I mean, come on. This is the only way to be competitive. It's the only way to be reasonable, to be fair. Could we get the same kind of money, at least close? They say, no, fuck you. And then they go to the United States and they say, hey, Truman, he was at the time president, Truman, can we please do something about the Iranians? They don't want to cooperate with our crazy, like, bad business practices. They don't want to just bend over, you know, and deal with that. No, that's not what they're going to do. And then Truman's just like, dude, what the fuck's wrong with you, you dick? Get out of here. And then they go. So the UK in a little hissy fit imposes sanctions against Iran, cutting off their own oil supply. So they switched to coal for electricity. And in 1952, something called the London Fog occurs, and 4,000 UK citizens die. Google it. So that's not good. I'm going to say Google it for any of these things. I mean, honestly, I'm going to name the thing. I'm going to name the event, and you can Google it and know it's true. Trust me. You will be able to find an actual citable fact. So, where was I? Ah, yes. So, this doesn't go good. So, they come back to the U.S. secretly, and they ask for help, and they mention communism. Now Eisenhower's president, and the Red Scare is just a creeping in. And Eisenhower's like, whoa, okay, Iran's a problem. Oh God, and papers go flying. Everyone's like, CIA has to do something right now. Okay, just get the best man. And this guy's like, he got his tie, he's just got like 80 guns, and he's just a rock solid maniac killer with the best possible plans for pure efficiency. And he's like, okay, I got this plan figured out. Get me 3 dogs, 2 cats, and a dictator. And he goes in and they kill off the leader that Iran had, who was a good leader for them at the time. He was actually the rights were actually pretty good then. He was democratically elected. Everyone was okay with it. Their government was pretty much okay, compared to now anyway, compared to how it became later on because of this. But the CIA goes in and fucking kills their leader. This happens. You can look it up. This occurred. They revealed it. I mean, there's might have been a good reason, maybe. You could believe there was. And even if you do believe there's a good reason, we made the first hit. Well, that's the thing. Now, you as a citizen probably had no say in this at any point in this stage. That your grandparents or great-grandparents at the time did not have a say in this. This was just under-the-table shit going on. And then it got revealed later on. Because they had to. Because that's how the government works. It has to be at least a little transparent. Although it usually takes literally decades to reveal certain things that are considered top secret for our safety. I'm not being a conspiracy theorist. I'm not going to state anything that I can't say. Look, here's the actual published data. Like MK Ultra. Look up MK Ultra. That's the thing that happened. It's not happening anymore, as far as anyone knows. And that's why it's published 35 years after the thing happened. And that happened. Our government did that. And it admitted it to us. That's just a fact. I'm not stating anything they didn't do. I'm not even going to accuse them of anything over it. I'm going to say they're bad guys because of it. Maybe they had a really good reason to subject towns to LSD for against their will. Anyway, so I'm sorry, I'm losing track. Oh yeah. So anyway, that happens, and then they put in a guy called the Shah in 1953. And then the oil deal's made, and Iran still gets the 50% revenue anyway. But they lost their leader, and now they have a dictator who treats them like shit. This goes on for 30 years. And they have almost no rights, but they have one specific right that I must note for the sake of this. They have the right to religious free speech, specifically, and nothing else. So, an organized enough group of really, 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 really radical Muslims, and I'm going to say all Muslims by any means, trust me, just, they were really foaming at the mouth, angry about the situation, and you can't necessarily blame them, but they were pissed. So, they kill the Shah and take over. And then shit starts going down. Let me just start trying to go through this list here, because there's a lot of things that happen. I can mix them up sometimes. So he was overthrown in 1979, and the Islamist theocracy takes over. Then we had the U.S. hostage crisis of 1979-1980, look it up. Then the Saudi king promotes conservative, non-tolerant version of Islam known as Wahhabism, and now it's the national religion of Saudi Arabia, which is not good, because now even Saudi Arabia hates us. In 1979 also, the Russians invade Afghanistan, because they want to make oil pipelines in Afghanistan and steal their oil. Russia, so that's Russia, standard Russia. When I go say Russians, mind you, I'm talking about the government of Russia. When I say Russia, I talk about what the government does. When I say Russians, I mean something different. I almost never just talk about Russians, because it's a pretty diverse group of fucking people. Anyway, where was I? Yes. So yeah, Russia does the thing in Afghanistan. Not good. And in the Wahhabist doctrine, jihad's a big deal. The idea of doing a jihad, ooh, top dog. So they commit jihad on Afghanistan. Holy war. So that's not good. That's that bad. That starts the conflicts. That's when shit starts getting serious. That's when everything becomes a complete fucking mess. War has broke out totally. Oh, my back hurts just thinking about it. Okay, actually my back just hurts. So, where was I? So, that's not good. So the jihad begins. So the U.S. gives weapons to Saddam Hussein for the Iran-Iraq War. 1980s, look it up. And then he gives weapons to the Saudi jihadists in Afghanistan to defeat the Russians. Which, that makes sense. I mean, I'm not going to agree with it because I don't think we should fucking let war happen. We should try to be more fucking diplomatic. But it's like something we've done before. I think we gave supplies to the Allies during World War II. Although we ended up getting pulled into the war mostly because of that. But we probably would have been attacked eventually because the Nazis, fucking Nazis. Anyway, point is, we give them weapons to deal with the shit. And the things happen. So, then the Gulf War in Kuwait, 1990. We install military bases and we don't leave afterward. So we put bases in their country, we go to war, we leave, but we leave our bases and people behind, and we keep using those places and moving things in and out. In the middle of the country that we just fucked up because we went to war. You ever had like a bum tenant that didn't want to fucking pay their part of the rent living with you, and you don't even like them as a roommate at all anymore because, you know, they keep pooping everywhere, and it's the weirdest thing. It's like some weird religion they claim to have. They're probably just full of shit. But anyway, let's get back to the point. It's kind of like that. I mean, I'm not saying it's good for them to attack us. I'm saying this is why some people went crazy and attacked us. Because we were kind of being assholes. Our government, that is. Let's see what else here. Oh, yeah. So, the Gulf War happens, and then the U.S. becomes the target of jihadis in the first World Trade Center bombing of 1993. You didn't know about that, did you? Yeah, the World Trade Center was not just hit in fucking 9/11. That was the big one, obviously. That was the bad one. But this was not good either. 1993, it was hit then. Also, for about the same fucking reason. Shortly after the Gulf War, after we did what we did. So it was right after. They were still fresh, hot, and mad afterward. So, I'm not saying it's good that war is continuing. I'm saying they were angry and retaliating, and that was their idea of handling it, was through war, because the area is completely fucked up at this point. It used to be a fine area. Everything was fine before. And then the rest of the world just starts fucking with it for money until shit goes bad. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah. So then the embassies in 1998 start getting bombed, and then the Kenyan embassies also get bombed. That's not good. And then 9/11 happens, and you know the rest of it. So 9/11 happened, and that's the whole line of events, really. So now we have ISIS, and it's just the next evolution of the fringe Muslim group that still holds a huge grudge against us because of what the CIA did. And, if I don't know if, like, us having shame would help or anything. It probably would not. I don't know if it would make us look weak. I think it would make us look stronger, make us look smarter, more reasonable as a country. Because Germany's willing to admit that they were Nazis at one point. And that's a really big thing to fucking admit. I mean, you would never admit you're a Nazi now. There's neo-Nazis, and very few of them are willing to, like, just come out in the open and be like, I am a neo-Nazi. Most of the time, they try to keep it a little bit under the desk, So, it's not even, like, I'm not defending that 9/11 happened. It's bad that it happened, and I really, really wish they hadn't decided to do that to us over it. And there's nothing to be done. It's just our government screwed them over and kept screwing them over. They kept fucking prodding them, and they fucking bit back. It's what happens. It's why the United States did not meddle in much world affairs prior to World War I and II. Because it does this. This happens. Shit gets real. But yeah, point is, this is why you don't need to be fucking racist against Muslims, because it's very few Muslims that feel this way. It's only this fringe Muslims that were created by the actions of the CIA back in the 50s. So, I mean, there's very, very few Muslim people, probably an equal number of any other race of people that are ready to go nuts and blow shit up. And that's just life, because sometimes it's just fucking crazy people. And you just gotta remember, though, the last detail, why are these crazy people? And the thing is that mental health needs to be fucking fixed. That's the end. That's the end of my story. Mental health, everybody. That's my argument. Mental health needs to be fixed. Worldwide. Of course, not one government's gonna be able to just do that, and I don't think anyone's just gonna band together to do it, even though that'd be lovely if it happened. Except it's just not gonna happen. But my point is, if mental health was better, and if our government hadn't fucked everything up 50 years ago, we'd be doing a lot better right now. But we're not. So I'm just gonna do this, and I'm gonna leave you guys with that. That's just my way in on this entire situation, including the entire backstory, because not everyone knows all that shit. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. I will say one more thing, because it's important to say, because I realized I know I'm a hippie right now, just as hard as possible. I'm saying world peace and shit, and smoking bongs, and I'm just about to say, one more thing regarding, the military. The actual people, it depends on the person. Some people in the military are in it to be crazy and do awful things. I know people in the military. The people that I know in the military are wonderful people. There's one man in the military now, one man out. Although, in a way, he says he always will be in it. And for the one out, it was a really rough time because, deployed and shit. The other one, I'm not going to fucking state their business necessarily. I'm just saying basic things like deployed and such. More or less semi-public knowledge. So, I'm not even going to say the names. And I'm just so against war, but I can't be necessarily against the people fighting in it because it's either people are volunteering for it and being brave enough to think, okay, I'm going to defend my country. And in some cases that is what's going on. It's just I don't feel like it's going on that way for a while, but it's not really, it's a matter of just what you end up doing, especially if it's in the family. Like, often families will keep sending, or at least making, it just ends up, the influences, even if they aren't, like, really wanting you to go to war, just the way influence works, you're just more likely to end up going into it, because that's just what happened. So, it's all traditionalism, really, but I can't really, I'm not going to blame any individual person in the military. I'm not going to even blame the military as a whole, because the government is the player. The military are the pieces. They're meant to serve a purpose. They're supposed to serve the government's purpose, meant to defend us. And they can't just really disobey the fucking government. That's just what it is. So I can't blame the military, and I know that sounds fucking crazy. Don't blame the military, necessarily. Blame the government for making the decisions to send the military fruitlessly off to things. Blame the government for meddling in things that it didn't need to meddle in, wasting your money and their money and everyone's money, and making everyone really lose money in the end, really. Because if the Middle East hadn't been fucked with and had developed normally, think about how we work with Europe and with Japan. We have a really fucking good setup. Imagine if the Middle East had just kept going that way and became, another decent power. But they weren't, crazy because they had gone normally, because they were already going pretty okay. So, we would have been 4 superpowers working together. Maybe we'd be already fucking deep into space if we hadn't fucked it up. So, yeah, that's not good. But yeah, see, everything's hindsight 2020 and all that, but it's a little depressing. My entire point of view is depressing. I apologize, everyone, but I had to get this video out there, partly because I haven't posted a video in a while, and I want to just put this out there right now, the rawest version of my opinion, because I have a very strong opinion on the situation. I also live in an area that's very diverse now, and I came from a place that's not diverse, by the way. I came from the Bible Belt, and I'm in San Francisco-ish. Not quite Bay Area, but, huge diversity, and I'm actually legitimately considering trying to learn some other languages, because I had no use for them before. I hate to say that. Even in the South, where there were, where some Hispanic people, it's just, they end up learning English because it's the South and everyone's fucking just, English is the language of the country. It's just like, I'm not saying we should not have a uniform specific language or anything. I'm just saying, I'm not expecting anyone else to learn fucking English. If I can't learn their fucking language, I would be a complete asshole. Oh. And I've met plenty of those people, so I'm so glad I moved here. I'm going to try and learn a little Mandarin in Spanish, and I've actually been correcting myself really hard. I'm so glad on video I did not say, I need to learn Chinese, which is something I've actually said a few times, because that's how pervasive it is. Even someone who's got a bit of sense like me fucking still says, I should learn Chinese. It's fucking Mandarin. It's not fucking Chinese. It's so ignorant. It's so horrifically ignorant. Why is this so pervasive? Anyway, I've been upset on camera too much. It's time to go. Bye, guys.